All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It is 3:31 and we are calling to order today, October 17th, school site council meeting. Let's go ahead and start with attendance. And let's see, we've got some well, let's start with the staff first to see. We've got site council member Eric Bell. Are you here today? Yes.
Hello.
Hi there, Eric.
Hi.
We've got Tally. Is Tally here today? Not quite. And Laura Ottmeyer's here, I believe. I think I see her here. And she's connecting with her audio. Chelsea. It's Chelsea. Hi there, Chelsea. Hello, Isa.
Right here.
Noon. And Sean Keller is here. Patty Bloomer and Julie Kelly. Do we have Julie Kelly here?
Yeah, I've asked Julie to join. I'm not sure if she's made plans to be here today, but hopefully she'll join us the next time.
Perfect. Do we have any other parents here when I look at?
I don't think so.
There we go.
I only see us.
And there's Tally. Hi, Tally. All right, well, we'll get started to take a look at the minutes from September 19th. If you haven't already, you can click on the link in our meeting notes and review the site council notes from last time. Wasn't very long. So do we have a motion to approve meeting notes from last month?
All motion.
Thank you, Chelsea. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there anything to discuss from those meeting notes from last month? Anyone have any comments? All right, then meeting notes are approved for last month's meeting. Moving on to number 4, if there are any comments from the public. Anybody have any comments?
I don't think there's anybody. I think it's just us. Yep.
Okay, well, we welcome them. So we'll move into the discussion items, starting with number 5 there, discussion items, the SBAC map and dibbles. I'm sure Mr. Keller has some news for us on those assessment results.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if anyone was able to catch Mr. Rogerman's presentation to the board. And I'm really sorry, I meant to put his links in there. So let me try to find them from the board. Let me see if they're connected to that, and then I can share my screen. Give me 1 second. Sorry for the delay.
Could I ask a show of hands who had a chance to see or attend the board meeting? Was there anyone able to make it the last time? Okay.
Okay.
I might have to share it from what he shared with me. Give me 1 second. Can we skip to the next agenda item, please?
Sure. We'll come back to number 5. Moving ahead to number 6, we have the cafeteria sustainability program, talking about possible field trips or a guest speaker. Some of the ideas that were brought up at some of our past meetings were a mural on campus created from recycled items. Possibly an Earth Day celebration to kind of bring full circle what we've started in our lunch program with the recycling of the cartons and our food trays. And so any comments on any of those? Anybody like to see some of that?
I'm sorry if this has been reported here before. What's happening to the leftovers? Like, are the kids still throwing everything in the trash? I see that there are some, they can put, like, if they don't want a fruit or something, there's a place for them to put it, but what's happening to the clean stuff, the rejects?
Yeah, right now we don't have anything. I reached out to Blue Zones today because they have a workshop Thursday. I'm trying, no, maybe Wednesday. The 19th is Wednesday. Is that correct?
Yeah,
They have workshop. Unfortunately, Mrs. Gaylor, Miss Carrie Gaylor, our current garden coordinator has resigned. So I put in with Human Resources to apply that position. And so we're looking for a new garden coordinator. If anyone knows of anyone who has some time or has a green thumb. I was hoping Carrie could go to that workshop, but unfortunately, you know, she stepped down and is unable to attend. They have another workshop in December, I believe. And but I did reach out to Blue Zones to just see if they have people that can come and work with our kids. We have fifth graders that have signed up for Garden Rangers. And it's to do exactly what you're thinking, Heloisa, because we had the county come in before and they had several different garbage cans and waste things for food scraps, for liquids, for the trays, for all the different things. And we want to get to that point, but I need the kids trained, and I can't say I'm the best person to train them at this moment. I have a vague idea and I could probably figure it out, but I definitely want someone to come in either from the county or Blue Zones who knows exactly what they're talking about. I want to say I've purchased all the right materials for the kids. We had custom aprons done for them. We have gloves. We have buckets for the liquids. And I wanted to get different colored waste cans for the kids so they would know exactly what color means what and label them. So again, it's just about having the right personnel, the right training for the students. But right now we're not setting aside the scraps like they want us to in our own homes.
But what we are doing
does the Blue
is
Zone-
collecting the trays.
We're collecting the trays at this point. Yeah.
Are we collecting the milk cartons, empty milk cartons
No.
at this time? No.
No.
All right, so the trays.
Because I need someone from Blue Zones to let us know, for myself and Mr. Overstreet, once we have the liquids in the buckets, then what? Do we put it down the sink? Do we put it down the drain? What do we do? Do we?
we water the garden.
Okay,
We water the plants around the campus.
with the milk?
Yeah,
Okay,
they get really green.
okay. I'm down for that. I just need guidance and Heloisa, if you know someone. who's
Yeah,
good-
so I'm usually not available on Thursdays. Does this meeting only happens on Thursdays?
Nope, haven't had a meeting yet with them. I've only had the signups. But I have all the materials for them to start. So I was hoping that someone could come in and teach them what to do.
Yeah,
And-
I can attend the meeting if it's not on a Thursday.
Okay, we can make it a different day. For sure.
Yeah, so we can,
Let me
we
know.
can. It's an in-person meeting?
It
Yeah,
doesn't
I
have to be. If you need to be off campus, we can do a virtual meeting where I can have the kids in my office or in another classroom. So we can make it work. You can let me know your availability through an email.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
And then this idea of the mural to be created from items that cannot be recycled, do we have some kind of artistic person to lead us on that?
Well, I did send an example of what I've seen in things that I've seen in the past. I mean, I think it'd be cool if it was just like a butterfly, or there's some really fancy looking ones that are with oceans and like whales and stuff. But I don't know if you can show that, Mr. Keller, the
Oh.
picture of that. I
The one that
sent
Mrs. Levy shared?
Miss Levy did, but did you see the meeting notes that I had sent to you with the different examples of pledges and the, what is Earth Day, the date of Earth Day? Because, Earth Day's April,
22nd.
let me look at my notes that I had here.
April 22nd.
April
Okay.
22nd. And it's that's the day that they've picked as the anniversary of this environmental movement. And so, I was exploring what are different things that we can do for Earth Day. And so they talked about teaching the kids that, like, about the 3 R's: recycling and reducing and reusing. And that's a little bit of the recycling of the trays, and trying to reduce waste is 2 of the R's that we're currently trying to work on. The reusing, it made me think, if you go farther down, they were talking about what other things, can you do for Earth Day? And they gave them some examples, like cleaning up your neighborhood and unplugging your device. But one of the things was saying making a bird feeder. And I thought, well, how cool would that be if we just used our own milk cartons that we were recycling, and that every class is making some kind of bird feeder with the milk cartons. But there's also like planting the trees through this canopy project, where like $1 like plants a tree like all over the world for like reforestation around the world. And so those are just some ideas that we can do for Earth Day. But if you scroll a little bit farther to look at that picture, Mr. Keller, like that's an idea of like what you can do with like recycling lids. And so if we put it out there now that we're going to collect different colored lids, then on Earth Day, I saw some teacher, and the link below this one is of this teacher who talked about how they did it with the school, but they had a couple of different pictures that the students voted on. And this lady talks about their experience at her school going through this like school-wide bottle cap mural project. And the kids actually helped to vote on what mural to do. And then they painted the mural, and then kids came out and helped screw in some of the caps. And so like every grade would come in and take part of like putting on some of these caps, and it's a mural that we all make together. And it'd kind of be neat if, like, knowing Earth Day's on April 22nd, that we start this collection now. They talked about the process of like, getting the kindergarten classes to like sort the caps by colors, and how they had the older grades come in to help draw this whatever idea that wins the school vote, and the 5th graders came in and traced like the image on, the board, and some kids came in and helped paint it, because painting it actually made it look better with the spaces in between like the bottle caps. And that would kind of be this like week project that we're kind of working on, that it's kind of comes to completion on Earth Day, and how we work together as a school to reuse things we have at home. And so it's kind of a neat idea. My son went to Toro Park School when he was little, and they did a huge wall, but it can just be a smaller piece too, put and made on wood, and that wood could be like attached to some wall, like maybe near like the kindergarten bathroom, or.
So Mrs.
some wall.
Dupuyan was interested in this as well.
Mhm.
And excuse me, she was actually looking to do for something permanent.
Yeah.
And it was along the same lines. It wasn't exactly just bottle caps, but
Uh-huh.
it was along the same lines of using materials that are non-recyclable to create art. And so we were brainstorming some ideas of where it could go. We were thinking of the chain link fence that separates the playground and the field. But we can find a place. We can figure it out. We can talk to the co-op and see if their fence is available.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's this project or both, or whatever.
Yeah, and we can probably also maybe talk to the high school students that are taking art class, and maybe have them draw like an, or make like a template or whatever of an otter, and then we can do like an otter thing.
Yeah.
Now, for
I
the-
thought the story here talks about how they had the school vote on what mural they liked the best, and so
Okay.
that'd
Yeah.
kind of be a nice process. I
Yeah,
do
to get-
imagine it being permanent, like this one picture that's coming up right now. Like it looks like they built it on a board, and then that board got placed somewhere on campus that was permanent.
looks like possibly several boards,
maybe,
possibly,
yeah,
like possibly 6.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe. But, you know, it could be something that we look to collect I mean, depending if we do the bottle cap thing, you know, there's lots of milk containers, soda containers, and
Yeah.
of all different colors. And I think it's kind of neat that, you know, we could have this project can kind of be worked on as the year goes along, working towards May of like, as we get the collection, the caps could go to kindergarten and they can sort them amongst colors, you know, and then those colors might go to a 3rd grade class that might sort them, you know, along with size or whatever, maybe out of the material they're made out of or something, you know, but I think it looks beautiful, the butterflies and stuff like that. They didn't do all of the bottle caps in this one. You know, it's part painting and part bottle caps that you see.
Okay. Well, again, I don't know for this group, if we need to vote on anything. I think we're all in agreement that something like this, something we desire. We can bring it to a vote next time if you'd like. We can put it on a future agenda item as an action item. And if you want to set a budget for anything, we can do that. But I'm just telling you as your principal, I'll support it and fund it for site funds with whatever we need to do.
yeah. Do we need to vote on it or?
No, we don't have to. If we're going to do anything that like, so that brick project that we're doing, because that's going into the ground, and it's going to be permanent, then we have to get it board approved. So if I would think that we would need to get it board approved. It would probably look good for us to have it approved in our minutes. Then we could forward that in the packet that, or the board cover sheet. I could forward that in the background information to the board that we as a site council voted for this project and that we'd like to see it happen, and then show them the location that we'd like to put it. So
Yeah. And we, you know, we can involve the high schoolers in drafting the picture that we're going to use, one or more, I don't know how many it's going to be. And then we can have the kids vote. Yeah, like Patty was saying, have all the kids vote, you know, and
yeah.
So do we want to put this in the meeting notes of something to vote for next time?
Yeah, I would say for future, for Eric, for future agenda items, for action item for the mural project. And if we want to have a dollar amount for site funds that we want to put toward this, that's fine. Just so everyone knows, only reimbursements can go to employees. So we can't allow a dad or a mom to go out, buy stuff, and then get expected to be reimbursed. They have to be an employee of the district, or it will be seen as a gift of public funds. So that needs to be very clear that and of course it could be myself. An employee needs to purchase the items, or we need to open up a PO with Ace Hardware, Home Depot, you know, Hayward Lumber, whatever we might need. We'll need to do it the right way, basically.
So we know we have both of these bullets, the mural and the Earth Day celebration. I mean, is that something like we can vote on today, that we're going to go with either or idea, and then the next time we're voting on, I don't know, I don't understand why we have to wait on the vote.
We don't. We just have to move this to an action item.
Oh, I see.
Technically, you're supposed to have whatever action in the minutes that are advertised 72 hours before the meeting.
Okay.
And so it's just a technicality.
Okay. Well, we'll follow the technicality, and next time we have it in action, and next time we'll vote.
We've been really low key and chill,
Okay.
but I just, you know.
I guess I don't feel like we need to be doing both of these and having like a concert and assembly. I mean, we could kind of aim this mural to kind of be complete by that day. And because we're talking about it so early on,
Sure.
we could do the collection of recycling like after the Christmas break, you know,
Yeah.
starting in January or something like that.
Yeah, and maybe, you know, have our kids talk to local paper and Because again, you want it to work, but you don't want people to buy a bunch of plastic bottles just to accomplish this mural.
Oh, no, no.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, even in the story that I put within the link, they said they were surprised how many they got just in like the first week, like hundreds of caps. And they had planned for many months to collect, but they actually did get quite a bit. I mean, I don't know how big the school was, but
Yeah.
I think if we're aiming for it to be completed in April, we've got January, February, March to be collecting lids, and I think we'd have plenty.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Well-
I'm gonna stop sharing because I'm still trying to find Mr. Rogam's email that has
All right.
those scores I wanted
Well-
to share with you. So my apologies for that.
Okay. Hi, Julie. Julie Kelly is present. Yay, Julie. So we will come back to number 5 on the SBAC and give Mr. Keller a little bit of time to look for that and move on to number 7, our daily social emotional pledge to
Are
be
you able to
kind,
share that?
affirmations.
Patty, can you share that from your screen?
Can I share it?
Yeah, can you do that from your screen?
Mm,
You should be able, anyone should be able to. Let me know if
let
you
me
can.
see. Yeah. All right, let me get to it. Was that it? Okay. I had actually just done a search on different I don't know how well you guys see this because I don't see the same thing you guys see.
I can see it.
It's over here. All right. I had actually just Googled some different pledges and some examples of pledges. I mean, I didn't know, are we writing this pledge? Are we looking to approve a daily pledge? What is it that we want the kids saying to themselves? And these were some examples of pledges that I came across that I also kind of tweaked a little bit. But like this one was, today I'll do my best to be my best. What I do today will make a difference in my life. My choices will affect me and those around me. I pledge to treat others like I like to be treated, kind, respectful, and helpful. It's my day to make great. That might be a little too wordy and long for kindergartners, but looking at something like a school promise to make choices to help me do my best, to be kind and care for others, and keep trying even when things get tough. There was another example.
That's a good,
a shorter pledge.
that's short.
Yeah, I think the idea of maybe going, is it a school promise? Is it a pledge? I didn't know if we want to have something in there about using our tools, but this pledge, I can make mistakes so I can learn. I can learn so I can succeed. I succeed so I can help others. I kind of like that too, because we all do make mistakes and we should learn from our
Yeah.
mistakes. And when we're being successful, then that's our goal, to help others as well. And this one was another a little longer one. My day is mine, fresh and new. I can learn from it and you can too. I will have kind thoughts, words, and actions. I will be responsible and nourish an environment of kindness. I will encourage acceptance and inclusion and try to persevere every day. So it was just some different examples that I'd come across. A lot of them were very wordy. I like the idea of maybe no more than 4 sentences. And is it a pledge? Is it a promise? Is it a school promise? Is it a promise to myself? Any thoughts on any of those? Miss Julie, as a kindergarten teacher, someone's raising their hand. Laura.
Hello. I like these. I think keeping it short is probably a good idea because then the words resonate a little bit more.
Mhm.
And I think one of the things that would be good is to really focus on kind of the respect piece of it, because I think that that's part of in the survey results that we were seeing from last year, sort of the bullying issues, but I feel like saying chronic disrespect of others instead of bullying is maybe a safer way to go, just because of the bullying terminology. So I think kind of referring to I will be respectful to myself and to others, or, you know, I will be kind to myself and to others, or I will be a friend to someone in need today. Just sort of also focusing on the community of school, helping others and being kind to yourself. That's just kind of my take on it too. I think more of a pledge than a school promise, because a school promise feels a little bit more like you're pledging something to the school itself.
Yeah.
Or if you're having a pledge, it's sort of like, you know, you're promising these things to yourself and to your friends around you, or to those around you.
Yeah. I kept feeling like we had to have some kind of blurb in there about maybe using my tools to be a better person, you know, something connected to like the toolbox, so that we're, you know, so you're saying that pledge and that it's reminding you of the other tools that you're being taught that you can use to like be successful at this pledge that you are stating every day.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's great.
So I think what I'm hearing is keeping it something short, 3 to 4 sentences. We want the sense of how the behavior affects others and respecting the word respect, maybe having something in there about tools. I mean, with this conversation we're having, I think it'd be neat if we could all like come up with a sentence or two, you know, that would be good for a student to say to themselves, and bring our ideas of, you know, 2 to 3 sentences or phrases, and maybe come together and create a pledge.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Are we all in agreement though about having the pledge? You know, if I don't know if we already went to that spot. Do we already?
Yeah, does it need to be an action that we vote on?
Yeah.
Well, I think we've, you know, the staff needs to be involved in this as well. And I think we can forward some recommendations. And I think the staff needs to kind of massage it, because, you know, if they're not on board, then it's not going to work, right?
Right.
So I think we need to just forward some ideas to them. And, you know, it's something that I can introduce this Thursday, because we're going to go over some of the, I'm not sure how much Laura and Eric were able to go over some possible questions, but I wanted my staff to go over some possible questions as well, for the site council survey that we want to put out. Yeah, so again, I think the staff definitely needs to have their input.
Yeah.
And Julie, do you have any input?
Yeah, I wanted to hear from Julie as a kindergarten teacher. Is there something you feel that's important to be in there? Oh, your volume's not off yet. Come in, Julie. Come in, Julie. Oh, I can lip read.
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I think it just needs to be kept simple. Honestly, I just feel like the more we get like stop, look, and listen, or stop, run, and tell, or I don't know, all these other things that come along is really, really confusing with kindergarten. The toolbox is amazing, and I feel like we use it well. We reiterate it. The kids know to use it with each other. They use it with the adults. So I feel like the more things we pile on top of it, we tend to muddy the waters with what is working. So, I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion. If it's going to be, I mean, Sean puts something on his newsletter, the auto thing, like one heart, one voice, one mind, something like that. Like a sentence seems to be like plenty, but I do think it needs to include the toolbox, since that's something that we've adopted as a district now for our elementary schools. And we have to be able to incorporate that if that's going to be our mantra moving forward, or go away from that and decide to go a different direction, fine. But I think we need to narrow the pipe. So that's my opinion.
Julie, are you aware of any pledges that Toolbox already has written a part of their
They
program?
may. I think we should look at their program and to see, because I bet there probably is. I mean, they're pretty fine oiled machines. So I would say that there probably is something, but I don't know for a fact, but I would be happy to look into that.
They have them, and I should have them on file. So give me a second. I have all this stuff in my file.
Thank you, Julie.
No problem.
Anyone else have any
Sorry.
comments on the pledges or promises or?
Yeah, I do. This is Tally.
Hi.
I concur with what Julie said. I think, of course, with kinder, it's true, but also, for anyone. That's why they created jingles or other things that are short and sweet. And I think, the other day, not only does my little one who's in Julie's class, he talks a lot about the toolbox, and then his brothers in 4th grade can speak that same language, and then we as a household can do that. But I think the other thing that comes home from them both is the golden rule. And I think when I look at aspects of the school promises that I see up here, and thinking about what Laura said about respect, and I really think fostering an environment of respect is a wonderful thing to tag on to the toolbox. So I guess my mind goes somewhere to something that contains the word respect and something that has a little bit to do with the golden rule, but that really isn't more than a few words, so that it doesn't feel dogmatic or hearkening of some religious thing, but it just is complementary to a system that has been embraced school-wide.
Thank you. All right, well, with that being said, I'm going to stop my sharing, and we'll go back to the notes. Mr. Keller, have you found Mr. Rogeman's?
Yes, I have.
All
But
right,
for the toolbox, I'll have to get into their, I thought I had downloaded their chants, if you will. But I think it's online. It's because it's a newer thing. I never noticed them before. And the last time I went in, I did notice that they had this piece. I will say that what they have through Toolbox is actually they're pretty long. If I were to play you a video, and gosh darn it, here we go. Here we go. All right, I just need to get into the portal. And let me try to find. Okay. Here we go. Let me share this with you guys right now. Here we go. All right. Everybody can see this okay? So I'm going to go ahead and play this one. Let me know if you can hear it okay, or if I need to turn up my sound. Is that loud enough for everybody?
yes.
Okay. It's the breathing tool.
I'm feeling rather busy in my body and my head. I'm coming in from recess or I'm heading off to bed. My blood is moving quickly and my thoughts are racing here and there. I'm feeling rather anxious or it's time to sit down in a chair. What can I do to calm myself? Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. I take a breath, I calm myself, I slow my heartbeat, focus my mind.
Yep, the volume went out. I can't hear it anymore. But that one is pretty long.
And there's more time to it, yeah.
Yeah.
And they have a breathing tool. They have Quiet Safe Place. I think they may have one for every single one. So this particular teacher created them on her own. She may or may not work with Toolbox, but they are available. It's a lot. It's a lot. If we're gonna try to stick with what they're recommending, and then they have the lyrics here for all the different chants. It's quite a bit.
I was just taking notice of our initials for Robert Down School and RHD, and wondered if, like, with the R as respectful to myself and others, and H, honesty, you know, and D, to do my best. And it just maybe being related to the RHD and going, and that's what RHD stands for, you know, not just Robert H. Down, but that respectful
That's a
to
great
others,
idea,
and
Patty.
and just to kind of, you know, simplify it and get in the respect and get in, you know, honest and doing my best. So that's another idea.
Yeah. That's a great idea. It's short and sweet too.
Yeah.
So Patty, I'll tell you what, why don't you and I brainstorm? And we'll throw ideas out to the staff this Thursday. And then we'll bring it back to this group next month.
Yeah.
And we'll see what everyone thinks. Does
All
that
right.
sound okay with everybody? Yeah, okay. All right, so I did find, it actually was a PowerPoint. I kept on looking for.
All right. So we're moving back up to number 5, discussion item on the CBAC and maps and dibbles.
Yeah, so Mr. Rugman actually did a comparison between Robert Down and Forest Grove, but I don't want us to get into the weeds on that. You can check out that video from the last board meeting if you'd like, but this is all just Robert Down results with a comparison to 2019 to last spring. And the 2019 results are in blue and last spring are in the orange color. And why we wanted to do this is we wanted to see a pre and kind of post distance learning, pre-pandemic, you know, kind of situation to just show how we did as a school. And what Mr. Rogerman presented was how we did as a district for all the grade levels that take the SBAC or the Smarter Balance assessments. And this is just for 3rd grade math. And you can see here that, you know, you want to have every kid either meet or exceed the standard in math. And you can see that for 3rd grade, that in the MET standard, more 3rd graders met, but fewer exceeded. And it was pretty much tied in the nearly met, and that the students that did not meet, we actually went down, which is what you want to see. So 8% did not meet in 2019, and only 2% did not meet last spring in 3rd grade. Are there any questions about this slide?
No.
All right, I'm going to go to 4th grade then. And you can see we had a slight increase by 1% and it did not meet. And you can see maybe that 1% kind of came down here for the nearly met. In the Met standard again, for our 4th graders, it increased. And that our exceeded went down about 3%. For 5th grade math, pretty close all the way across besides the exceeded. So we went up about 4% and did not meet. About 4% in nearly met. And again, the good news for met is we went up about 5%, and unfortunately went down quite a bit in exceeded for 5th grade math. For English language arts, or ELA, the rough thing is that in 2019, none of our 3rd graders did not meet the standard. So we did have an increase there of 8%. Good thing here is we went down about 14% in nearly met. We went up in met. We were really close to what we performed in 2019. Now again, this is not the same cohort. These are different students, but the same grade level. For 4th grade, you can see we went down. So only 2% of our students did not meet standard last year in the spring. almost the same in nearly met. Again, this is what you want to see. We increased by 2% in met standard, and we increased by 4% in exceeded. And again, this was fourth grade. And then for fifth grade, you can see we increased a little bit and then did not meet by 2%, went down in nearly met by 4%. And again, what you want to see is an increase for these last two, went up quite a bit, about 14% in met standard, and went down about 12% in exceeded. Go ahead, Laura.
I'm just kind of looking at this and I'm wondering if would you mind going back? Because I'm interested to look at when Buck was presenting it at the board meeting. I was thinking this too. It'd be interesting, but I didn't want to stop him in his tracks. To go back and look at sort of third and then fourth, because the third and fourth, those would be the same students that are testing, just to kind of see if those numbers are mirroring each other. Do you see what I'm saying?
So the cohort. I'm trying
Yeah,
to-
exactly.
So.
Oh, no, it wouldn't. It's 19 and 22. Okay.
Yeah. So none of these students.
None of these would fit.
Yeah.
Okay, never
The
mind.
All the 2019 students are now in middle or.
Yeah.
could be-
Well, I'm glad I didn't stop Buck then.
Yeah.
Would have made sense. Okay, so that doesn't make much sense.
But I
But
did,
numbers are down too. So these, it's hard too because those percentages it's going to be skewed anyway because less students are testing, less students are enrolled.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our population has gone down. When I first started at Robert Down, I want to say we were in the 460s-ish, around there. Now we're kind of down into the 4 teens, 430s. 430s if we're lucky. But we've gotten, it used to be where Robert Down had about 40 more students than Forest Grove, and now we're almost evening out. They've gone over, they were a little bit under 300 or under 400 in the 300s for quite some time, and now they're in the 400s, and our numbers are coming down. They're almost even. But yeah, I do not have cohort, but last spring, I did present the cohort with the math test. I did show how kids, because we do have the kids currently who went in a different grade, and I did share with site council last spring.
I remember that.
We looked really deeply into the MAP scores. I showed how those students, obviously there'll be a change here and there with people that move or in addition, but for the most part, it's the same cohort kids that are coming through our grade level. Are there any other slides people would like to see or go back to? Do you want me to go through one more time or? You're good? Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So just overall, as a principal, again, I'm very happy with the scores in general. I know that Mrs. Nguzi and Miss Annalisa, who are working in our intervention department, they're working really hard to try to help kids. If they are showing that they're in the red or what we call the yellow, kind of those danger zones of reading and math. And they're working really hard working with kids. We meet every single week and we just kind of catch up on students and just want to be a little bit more knowledgeable about who needs more support and who might need what we call, I know we discussed this last time, the SST or student support team, who needs to be looked at to see if they need even more support from possibly Miss Davis or Miss Gertz, who's our occupational therapist, or Miss Pritchard, who's our speech and language pathologist. So we're looking really close, and I feel like I'm getting a better grasp of where kids are standing by meeting with them every week. So I feel really good as a principal knowing that our kids are getting the support they need. Are there any concerns or questions about that, about kids who did score in the red or yellow and what kind of supports they're getting?
So does that complete item number 5?
Yeah, for now, I can come back, with the next time we take the math, test. I believe I shared the math scores last time.
Mhm.
And, again, we'll take it in the winter time, possibly about January, February-ish, around there. And then I'll share those scores to show how kids are doing. And those, what's really nice about the map, it's kind of like a mini SAT or PSAT, if you will, and it will show a prediction of how kids will perform on a test like the SBAC, or they call it the CAST as well. But it is predictive. So what's great for your kids, since they're in elementary school, they'll have all of these scores. And at one point, when they start getting towards being a sophomore and junior, when they're going to take the SAT, it will show a predictive score of how they will do on that test, which is really nice.
Are there any other comments or questions from any members? All right. Well, then that will move us on to item 8, which is the proposed goals for 2022-23 and the single plan for student achievement.
So again, that's just, I put that on there just kind of to update everybody. I wrote in a little bit of updates. Went over this the very first meeting and last time a little bit. I have met with 5th graders, I believe, since last time. I did get signups, and we're starting to get the garden rangers going. And we signed up the kids for service learners to work with Ms. Sonda. And again, I'm really hoping that that will, I heard kids saying it's really nice to see that we're being offered this many opportunities for leadership. And that was the goal, to offer that. Now, not every 5th grader is taking advantage of it. And I might need to dip down into 4th grade, which I think will be fine. It'll be a perfect opportunity for them to work on that, so they'll know exactly what to do when they're in 5th grade next year. I do have an update that I just found out today for the drama performance. That actually is going to be December 5th or 4th, whatever that Sunday is. Let me see the calendar here. I guess Director Roja needed just a few more dates. That's December 4th. So he will be having the drama production on December 4th, not November 20th. And I do have a note there, the ASE, just so parents of younger children who have never had after school enrichment, that's what ASE stands for. That program will begin in the winter. They're not having a fall program. So if you know of any community members that would like to teach a class after school, they should get in touch with Natalie Montgomery. She's a 5th grade teacher over at Forest Grove. And any community member who is cleared and gone through the fingerprinting can provide a class. So they've taught chess, they've taught guitar. They're actually, I think, going to do a different kind of drama class. We definitely are looking for someone to do ceramics, because our person who used to do ceramics is no longer going to provide it in the ASE program. So if you know of anyone who does ceramics and is willing to work with kids, then definitely let them know. We have the kilns both at Forest Grove and at Robert Down, and we definitely would love to bring that back. Eloisa, I have the signups for the parents that signed up for the diversity nights. Has anyone reached out to you at all, or do you need me to give you those names?
I think Eloisa left. I just saw it flash across the screen.
I see your box here.
Oh, I'm probably wrong.
No, I think you're right. She did leave.
I'm here. I was just having a hard time with the phone. So yeah, I didn't have a chance during the break to reach out to anybody. I know Lucy Hazen had the name of the people that are interested in working with the diversity night. So, but we haven't had a chance to talk more about it.
Okay. Do they have any kind of month or date set aside so far?
They want to do it in the spring.
Okay,
And so I think they were waiting for their next PTA meeting to decide if they're going to make it a fundraiser or not. But that's a meeting I can never join because I'm not available at the time of those meetings.
okay,
So, but I can communicate with Lucy Hazen, who's the president, and see.
okay, great. Yeah, and so again, just talking about the SBAC scores and intervention, that's kind of going over goal 3, which is providing the right, the correct amount of supports for kids that are not doing so well in English language arts or math. Are there any questions so far about the goals for our SIPSA for this year, or any concerns?
No, is this the right time to bring up the other ideas about diversity and stuff?
Sure.
Okay. So had a couple ideas discussing with Miss Levy, which is easy for me because my child's in her class. We are doing something in her class about Dia de los Muertos, which is November 2nd. And I think it's a great opportunity to teach diversity because we're talking about people who actually celebrate their dead, which is like, for example, very different from how I was brought up, Oops, sorry. Everybody's still there? Okay. And so that's one thing, I think it's too short notice to be able to do that, across the school, but that's something we can talk about for, next year. And then we, Miss Levy and I also did the mural with the Hispanic Heritage Appreciation Celebration Month, which ended yesterday. And now this month is Indigenous Heritage Appreciation Month, Celebration Month. So there is this website called Teachers Pay Teachers where you can download somebody already came up with the posters, and we can download them and just decorate the front of the school again with them. It's like $7, it's nothing. But I was talking about it with Mr. Keller this morning, and there is no cash account or availability for small stuff like that. And he was suggesting maybe we look at the whole year worth of celebrations and see how much it would be to purchase all the little posters to create the front of the school decoration. So I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, and like I said, again, it has to be a staff member who purchases it, or
Yeah.
if Teachers Pay Teachers accepts a purchase order, which honestly I doubt, they probably just accept credit cards. So yeah, if that's something that we would like to do, it's something that Site Council supports, then I can work with Ms. Levy and either she or I or both purchase, and we'll get reimbursed to the school. That's not a big deal at all.
You have to vote at a future meeting, or we can decide it now?
That's just like you and she did it. You did it without our approval. It's something
Yeah.
that I think everyone here wants to celebrate diversity. We made it very clear last year that's something we want to do. So I don't think anyone's going to say no to any actions that we take, offline.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any concerns about that at all? No? Okay. So, Heloisa, I don't think it's too late. I think the subject of death could be hard on some kids more so than others if they've lost someone. But I think, if everyone's okay with it, I think I can talk to Sonda and just see how I can gently put it out there to families and say, we're going to have a wall to celebrate Dia de los Muertos at school. And if kids want to bring a picture, kind of like what we have for Veterans Day, right?
Exactly what I.
I mean, we allow kids to celebrate their either current or former, some posthumous, veterans. And if they want to, have a picture and just a little something underneath, like, this was my Aunt Mary and she was like a grandma to me and I love her very much, and something very simple like that. And
Yeah.
if they want to come and we can provide a little wall for the kids to come and tape it or pin it or whatever, I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm thinking the cafeteria might be nice because the kids are in there, most kids are in there for little lessons and of course the lunch line, so they can look at it as they walk through the lunch line. It'll be in a safe location. People aren't gonna tear it up or mess with things, and
That's a great idea. Does anybody have artistic skills where they could put the typical Dia de los Muertos stuff at the, or should we just print it? Let me show you an example.
with the skulls.
Some of the kids are doing skulls in class.
Yeah.
Miss Smith, for one, I know for a fact. I don't know if that could be incorporated. And then I don't know, some pictures of marigolds or something if we can't actually get real flowers in there.
Yeah.
Can you, oh, it's blurred.
I can say, yeah.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, my wife's school in Watsonville has a huge Dia de los Muertos celebration every year. So I can
Yeah.
ask her for ideas as well to see what she does, and she,
I know these things cost money, but Target's got lots of stuff.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. This one is from the dollar store.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if we had art teacher or if they had art class, obviously we usually get certain classes to make it, but it's probably pretty inexpensive, like Eloisa said, to do dollar store or to do Target or something.
can you see it? Everybody
Yeah.
see it?
Absolutely. Those are beautiful.
Eloisa, we're just gonna raid your house. You're gonna come home and there'll be nothing left.
All right?
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right, yeah, so we'll get something going. For
And
sure.
it's good that it's a Wednesday, and Wednesday's Concha Day for school breakfast.
There you
Those are
go.
really good. I don't know if you've had them yourself, but they're really good.
I can't have them, but my kids live for Wednesdays.
Yeah, okay. All right. Any other topics for diversity that people would like to discuss?
I have a couple more, if anybody.
Go for it, go for it.
Okay, so I don't know if this one would be on diversity or what, but it's also very short notice. November 14th is Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day. If anyone needs a refresher on Ruby Bridges, this is the little girl that wasn't allowed to go to school, and she decided that she was just gonna go, and she walked to school and she sat in class, and she was the only Black kid in class. And AAA has something going on where if the school applies for Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day on a first come, first serve, while supply lasts kind of thing, they'll provide the school with everything you need to do Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day on November 14th. So that one, we don't have time to vote at a future meeting or whatever. I'll take my chances and just email them and get into their website right now and see if they're still available.
So again, this isn't something that I think we have to vote on, but are there any concerns about our school participating in the Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day?
No, I think it's a great idea, especially in this community. We already have lots of kids walking to school, but I think it would just increase that day. I think it's a great idea.
So Eloisa, feel free to go ahead and you can use my email as a contact, please. Just in case they need a principal or somebody from the school as a contact.
Do we need to make some kind of flyer to announce that or anything, or would that just be in an email by you?
Well, I did see the link that Eloisa and Miss Levy.
What date is that? November what?
14.
No. 14th, it's a Monday. So maybe Mr. Keller can just put in his Thursday announcement, you know, that
Yeah.
that we're gonna have that, and the kids, I think they wear purple on that. I have to look it up again.
Okay.
But if they can
Yeah.
something purple, don't quote me on the color yet. They wear something, and there's gonna be all kinds of goodies from AAA, I hope.
Yeah, that was my question. What does it entail? So the kids just walk to school and they wear a certain color, and then maybe AAA gives us some stuff.
Yeah, I think the teachers get a shirt, a purple shirt, I think it's purple, saying, you know, Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day, and the kids get button, like the little buttons things, and there's like banners for the school, and actually I think at a certain point, either at lunch break or something, people just walk around the school. Everybody walks around the school together. Eric just posted something. Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. Register.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's great. We should go ahead.
It does
Okay.
look like it's the color purple,
Yep.
maybe like a neon green too. Great. Thank you, Heloisa. Was that all that you had, or did you have something else to share?
The other one was just like a comment, because, let me find you guys again. Oh, because the way the schedules work in the school, 2 fourth grade classes are having to combine for the Spanish class at an auditorium. So if that's going to be happening, you know, if that's going to be the norm, I would like to propose that at Christmas break, we switch the groups of fourth grade classes. So on the second semester, the classes were together, each one gets separate Spanish instruction, and the other 2 classes go to the auditorium together.
I'll see what I can do, Helly. So that's more of just a logistics of time and when kids, well, the classes really have, if you were to look at the master schedule, it's,
That's a big undertaking to do a
Yeah.
simple switch like that.
yeah, to try to do that. I'll see what I can do. Again, I'll need to talk to the grade level, fourth grade. That's occurring again because we got the extra fourth grade class here at Robert Down. And because of that, it's a great problem to have, right? Because our classes are smaller in fourth grade this year. But in trying to do the master schedule for Spanish, I just realized really quickly that I could not have them separated. So I'll see what I can do. But I only have Senora Nunez for a certain amount of time because we share her with Forest Grove. And I'll see. I can't promise anything. I wish I could, but I really can't, because you move one thing in a master schedule
Right.
and
Yeah.
it switches the library, it switches the computer time, it switches the PE. And there's certain things that just need to stay the way they are. So there might be, if we did switch it, if that's something that they would like to do, then I will have to talk to the grade level and see if they're willing to change for the second semester some of the other, what we call specials. So library, computer, and PE and everything. If they're willing to do that, then I'm fine, as long as it works out.
Okay.
Thank you. I think that ends goal 2 and social emotional. Is there something to talk about goal 3 in the English language arts math area?
No, again, I think I covered it. That's really sharing the MAP scores and intervention. And again, I'm meeting with that intervention team every single week. I really feel like our intervention teachers are meeting with the students that need that intervention. And, you know, there are some families that chose not to have their kids participate, and that's okay. We wish they would choose to have them get that extra support, but they either, you know, couldn't make it after school, couldn't come early at 8 o'clock in the morning for some of the services. But we'll figure something out, you know, for those kids if they continue to slide and show that they're not making any growth. But so far, fingers crossed, based on the running records that those teachers are keeping, the kids are making growth right now.
That's great. Then we had discussion, but I think we had discussion in some of the extra topics that Eloisa brought up, and or if there was any other additional questions or comments on the our plan by anyone. No comments. And so I think that brings us, no, wait, not to an end yet, right? We're at the jungle gym garden update.
Yeah, I think we
We
need,
had that.
I'm gonna renumber something real quick. I think I have 2 number 9s.
Yeah, that's okay.
So for the jungle gym, again, I think not really jungle gym, but it's the obstacle course, the new structure. Obviously, you know, if you went to the Butterfly Bazaar, you saw the new structure. The kids are loving it. They're definitely utilizing it. They're being a little bit more safe on the merry-go-round. That was pretty popular. But so far, you know, the good thing is no major injuries, knock on wood. They did add a 12x12 sandbox that the last week before school got out for October break. And that does have a cover. So it stayed on through the entire break. I'm not sure if anybody came and utilized it and pulled it back, but we're gonna just leave it out there. We don't want cats to get into the sandbox at all. And what we have noticed though, the kids love to dig. We probably need to add a little bit of sand because they've already dug down to the level. It's not as much sand as it was before, and they can't dig as far down as they'd like. But
I was here twice during the break, and there were families here and there were kids playing in the sandbox, and
good.
I'd come back a different day and it was covered again. So
That's nice that the
yeah.
community is doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully, again, it stays that way and
Yes.
rambunctious teenagers don't make a bad.
Eloisa has a comment.
What is that name of that thing where the kids sit inside and spin?
Merry-go-round. I don't know if it has a more,
Spinning saucer.
yeah.
Yeah. Is there a weight limit, I imagine, on that thing?
I was
Because
at least I don't remember last year. I think from what they presented to us as a site council last year and what they put in, I want to say those two things were different. Patty, you were here.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be kind of like a dome to hide into, not that
Yeah.
it was gonna be a spinning thing.
Yeah.
But
during the fly parade, I counted, there were 16 kids on that thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, parents aren't going to monitor their kids. That I had to shut that down right away the week after the parade. And I told the kids inside it's a limit of 6 because with the ropes, there's 6 little spots and you can't hang out with your head because that's going to get hit if somebody walks by, and they're getting it.
it's been better. I haven't noticed the big crowds like that.
Yeah, we told them nobody on top.
Yeah.
What they do on the weekends is what they do on the weekends. I can't be here and I don't want to be here to monitor. But yeah, we've got to
working.
kind of put the squash down a little bit.
Sorry, just one interruption. I'm applying for the thing now at the same time. How many people at Robert Downey, kids and staff included?
Well, there's 64 staff. And boy, I don't have our new program doesn't give me the number like I'd like. Give me a second and I'll do some fast counting. And I'll just say that if you haven't read this Safe School Plan, that this will give you a little bit of time to do that, and I'll do some.
The Safe School Plan. And that is in the link
Yeah,
of our notes as well.
yeah. And again, I guess number 10 was really unnecessary. I forgot to take it out for the notes. But those need to go up into the presentation for the SBAC math and dibbles. So just so everybody knows, I provided that last time,
Okay,
but I will get that number to you in just a second.
all
Helen.
right. And you're asking us to look over the safety plan and is
Yeah.
there any,
And again, I'm being pressured to have this approved. But if the site council doesn't feel you've had enough time to go over it and you want another month, again, that's fine with me. I'm just having pressure that I get the updates, because if you scroll down to, let me get in there, sorry. If you go to page, so starting with page 38, this is a new Big 5 staff packet that we're using. And again, we borrowed this from, or we adopted the Big 5 from San Mateo County Office of Education. And they provided more trauma-informed approaches for their schools. And I'll be sharing this with my staff this year. And also the think on your feet, instead of having a lockdown, we will no longer have any kind of lockdown. I used to do a script and walk the teachers through that. We will not do that with the kids at all, because we don't want kids to be traumatized by any lockdown stuff. And we really hope that we never have to do that for real. But San Mateo County Office of Ed created Think on Your Feet. So we're going to celebrate Think on Your Feet Day in January. And all the kids will be read this book. And it'll just be about, thinking on your feet, basically, whenever there's an emergency. Regardless of the emergency, thinking on your feet and making good decisions.
I had a question. I was looking at, I'm not sure what page I'm on here, 11 of the safety plan, the district-wide discipline.
Yeah.
And I mean, I see the fighting and the 8 disrespect towards others, but where does, I guess I could use the word bullying, or where does it go if it's not like a fight, but a kid's being like bullied or picked on somebody? Is that under like disrespect of others?
Yeah.
Does that fall under that section?
Yeah.
So I see on the agenda, it's an action item, but it's also a future agenda item for us to come back next time for any changes? Is that what you're asking? Not for us to look it over right now and to come up with changes, but just
Well-
something that we,
Again, I put it because I'm being asked to have it approved. I did make it as an action item, but again,
oh, I see where this is. Action
Yeah.
item. Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
But again, so this, for the people that were on site council last year,
Mhm.
we approved this in the spring, if you
Mhm.
remember. And so that was pretty late compared to other years.
Right.
Actually, I take that back. I want to, maybe December of last year. But it was later than usual. I know that. And so I had a lot of things updated, but not the new, because we went through the training with San Mateo Office of Education in the spring. So again, if you need another month to look this over, to come back with more questions or any concerns or anything to fix, I'm more than happy to do that in November. I'm just being asked to approve it as soon as possible.
This is Laura. I had a question just while we're kind of looking through. I know some of this has obviously been updated from last year. I mean, just some of the information that's in here, but is there anything specifically besides like school climate, things like that, that has changed from what we reviewed last year? Or is it pretty much, and also, I guess, think on your feet?
Yeah. If you go, sorry, I need to pull it back up.
I was just gonna say, if so, I would like to take the time to read through it
Yeah,
personally.
that all is in. Here we go. So all those changes, if you go, all those changes and updates are from page 13 through 28-ish, around there.
Mhm.
Are all the updates for the components and school climate. That's all 13, yeah, all those pages. And then, didn't take me little time, but to update the maps and have new staff names and all that kind of stuff. That's in the documents from page 28 all the way through the end, the phone tree, all that jazz. I made very little updates to the response teams, emergency supply list locations. So I am planning to move things from the office area, like the bullhorn. I'm going to work with Mr. D and Ms. Tobin to use the old shed to have not just that, but we also have, which we've never used because we've never had a major issue like a fire, earthquake, where the building was, gas leak, that kind of stuff, where we had to have fire or police show up. We have a command center kind of fold out that has a map of the campus for, major emergency. So when the first responders come, they can look at that map and basically take over, and have a command table where they start then, telling their people, hey, go here, go here, go here, to respond to any major fire issues or, but again, we've always had that in the office. And it didn't feel right to me. We have search and rescue, helmets and backpacks and flashlights and all these things. So if there is a major emergency, it's always been housed in the mailroom in the office. But if we have a major event, we're not going to have access to that stuff. So that's one of the major things I made changes for, to get that out into the shed. So with a table, and having what they call a command center set up outside instead of having to bring it out in the event of an emergency. We just wouldn't have the time to do that.
I had another question. On
Right.
page 27, the continued goals for 2022-23. Some of these I remember from last year's.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, are these ongoing goals or are these goals that just still need to be completed, like create bins with water, towel, and duct tape,
Yeah.
provide the classrooms with windows and doors and Velcro cover? Are these things that actively need to be done?
Yeah.
And they just have moved over onto this list for this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
They definitely need to be done. And so I added to our SIPSA plan, goal 4, which is safety. And that's to get a lot of these done.
Okay.
The buckets and all that stuff, I really will need some help from the district because that's going to be quite expensive. We have.
What page are you looking at, Laura?
Oh, 27 continued on 28.
Thank you.
Bottom of 27. Yeah.
Thanks. I'm sorry, Mr. Keller.
No, that's okay. Are you sure? Maybe I'm looking at the. Yeah, I just want to be very clear. I was hoping to repurpose the trees that we have on campus. But when I talked to Mr. Anderson, our new maintenance director, he told me that the trees that we have on campus, the holly that's near the kindergarten gate off Pine, is completely dead. And what they call a mouse hole tree, which is behind the stage or by the tetherball courts and the web, that one's dying. And any kind of growth, it has this kind of curl to the leaves. It won't survive. He told me that those are going to have to be completely removed down to the stumps, and he wants to grind the stumps. So there's no roots growing into any pipes or anything like that. It's kind of depressing because I was hoping to do something with those to kind of beautify the campus a little bit. And I don't know if we're going to plant any trees to replace them. But just wanted to be very clear about that. That those at some point, whenever he has a tree removal company come through, that they'll be gone, unfortunately. And I don't know if I mentioned it here, but he also talked about one of the trees up front. I forget what they're called, but that one of them is splitting and dying, and that it's going to have to come down as well.
So should I be asking at this time if there is a motion to vote on the safety plan? Would that be appropriate to ask right now?
Yeah, again, only if people are comfortable with that. And if there's no
Right.
motion, then there could be, we could go through it and just, everyone could say nay, and it'll give us more time to go through it. And
Okay.
I don't believe there's anything else in the agenda other than adding things to discuss next time.
All right, so if I ask if there's a motion to approve this safety plan, is there someone out there who's suggesting nay to give us some more time?
I'd say nay. This is Laura.
Thank
I'd
you.
like to look at it.
All right, does somebody second that motion?
I second.
Thank you, Eric. And so we will agree to move this to an action item next month as well. Give us time to review it and put any questions down we might have for the next meeting.
Yeah. So Eric, just for the notes, just say to table. Motion to table.
Motion to table.
Yeah,
Okay,
table-
Eric should
table
say that.
the item. And Eloisa, I did the count and pretty sure my math is right. We're about at a
408,
410
410 students. Wow.
ish.
All right.
Gone down quite a bit.
All right. Hopefully Eloisa got that.
So I guess, right, I added 64, whatever he said to that, and I guess 500. So
All right.
That's fine.
So that just moves us to that future agenda items as the safety plan. And otherwise, we are at the end of this meeting in order to adjourn meeting. There's not anything else?
Yeah, is there anything anyone would like me to research from now until next time, or provide information about any topics for next time?
This is Tally. I do have one thing. I was thinking about some of the events that Elisa was bringing up for the diversity thing. And then of course we were talking about that quite a bit last year.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that we could have had by now just a rolling calendar of the things that we want to mark so that it's not reinventing the wheel or just doing it super late. Because I think it takes a lot of lift to kind of integrate these things.
Yeah.
And as we learned last year, some teachers already have some great stuff going that maybe is appropriate for like upperclassmen or lowerclassmen or, you know, something like that. So maybe if even in the Google Doc, if there was a space, we could just sort of crowdsource the information, or I'm sure it's online, could pull from another district, and that might help orient us.
Okay. So to kind of summarize, creation of diversity celebrations throughout the year.
Well,
Sure.
is it just diversity we're talking about? Or, I mean, is it kind of looking at like a year's calendar and, you know, we want Earth, you know, like the Earth Day to be in April 22nd, but then another teacher might say, oh, well, we put on a play in April as well, you know, and so we know how many like big events we've got going on each month. We might see that, oh, gosh, we've got nothing that we do in January, you know, and then focus on that month. I don't know if it's like a yearly calendar that we've put those.
yeah, that's a good idea, because I noticed before the pandemic, there were months in a row with nothing happening. And then in the same week, there would be Fonda's Tea in a Pod thing on Wednesday, and then the taco night on Friday, and then something, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, yeah, so,
All at once.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just might be like special events, like a yearly calendar, special events, and that could be diversity, but it could also show the butterfly parade, you know, and that we have that, or it might even show like, I don't know, even
Well,
if
how
it's
do you-
like the movie night in PTA, then at least we know we've got, you know, that big event that's going on school wide.
Maybe
I
we
don't
can
know.
create a calendar and have like the PTA president and Mr. Keller and one of us and Fonda, you know, people that do create big events have, you know, all been able to enter what we already have planned.
Well, I mean, I think when we put on big events, not, you know, just with the Earth Day, but, you know, like I know fifth grade does a play and that all the other classes come and to see that during a week or a couple of days, but that takes time from instruction as well in the classroom. And so knowing that, wow, we already got 3 big things going on in the month of November, you know, and realizing how much time that might be taking out of instructional time in the classroom, I think would, you know, even if we had like 4 slots for each month, you know, to go, okay, that we got a lot going on in whatever month, you know, and we should be aware of that. It's nice to have these special events, but how much of it also pulls out of class time? And, you know, I don't know, it might be. So thank you, Tally, for bringing that up. I don't think it necessarily has to just represent diversity, I guess is what I'm saying. So if there isn't any other comments, questions, then can I give the motion to adjourn, or am I
Yeah.
asking for somebody else? Somebody.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn. There's a second.
Second,
Thank you. Then it is approved that this meeting will be adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today.
Adjournment at
thank you.
5:02.
Great week.
5:02, yes.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
everybody November 14th, if not sooner.
November 14th, yes, thank you.
Bye, thanks, guys.
Your mailbox about the Ruby Bridges and